Now they call me back into the reserves.
Hmm.
That was a tough time in my life.
Not bad.
So my mother and dad took care, and my sister, your mother,
Mm-hmm.
took care of my baby. Kathy, her name was, 14 months. And, well, we survived that.
Mm-hmm. So you were in the reserves at that time? So did that mean that you still lived here? Or did you have to go someplace else?
Oh, I mean, where did I go when they called me back?
Yeah.
Well, I was with the Signal Battalion.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, the Signal Battalion was located on the East Coast at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. So that's where I had to go to report.
Okay.
To the Signal Battalion. That's where radio, telephone, radar, all that stuff was in that battalion.
How long did you spend there?
1 year.
Mm.
Because by that time, these people back home were writing their congressmen and people like that to get me a dependency discharge because of, that I had a child, you know. But I survived that year.
Mm-hmm.
Came visit, I think it was once, and my father-in-law, Ted Radin, that was my wife's father, he used to come and take care of Kathy every once in a while, take her for a ride, and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for which at the time you didn't have time to even be grateful, you know, because you're busy with your work.
Sure.
And when I got to work with my MOS, which was radar technician in a signal battalion, they put me in a company, a battalion that was processing all the other servicemen, Marines that were coming in. And they were coming in by the hundreds, you know, being called back into active duty.
Was the war still going on?
The Korean War.
Korean War, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when they assigned me to that section to work on those books in the headquarters company.
So were you training or training other people, or what was your job?
Well, see, I was office manager when they called me back at General Motors. And when I went down there, my work just, it leaned toward office work instead of electrical. You know,
I got you. So
radar.
you're managing the group of people and making
At
sure
General
everything got
Motors,
done.
I was the office manager.
Okay.
So when I got there, they put me in the office, and they got 28 Marines working in that office, 28.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, they were actually working on these record books that these Marines were bringing in with them, but they all had to be corrected. And we had to go through every one of those record books, and they piled up. Oh, man, they were so far behind.
What type of record books? What do you mean?
Well, every Marine has a record book.
Mm-hmm.
When he enlisted, who to call in an emergency,
Okay.
his health insurance, where to send the money, if you have money to send home for your wife. But when they were in the first time, they weren't married. You know, they were single boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they got back, they got married, but the book still didn't indicate that they got married. So all the benefits would be going to the mother instead of to the wife with the kids.
Okay.
So they all had to be changed. And, oh, they were so far behind. So I talked to the adjutant and I said to him, look, I got a little experience in office work, and I'll tell you what, you're behind so far, but I promise you that in 1 month, I will be caught up with all that work if you let me do it. He said, but what am I going to do with the, what the heck, they had a title for him. Battalion Chief Clerk.
Oh, the guy that was in charge of doing that?
Yeah, taking care of those people. So he said, what am I going to do with him? You know, I can't just give you that job. And how is he going to feel? I said, get him, transfer him to his hometown for recruiting. By golly, a week later, this sergeant comes rushing into the office, and he says, I got a transfer to my hometown. And, oh, he was so tickled, but he didn't know, by God, that I was instrumental in getting it, you know. So then I took his job, and I fulfilled my promise that I would get that all caught up, which I did. And he was so grateful, this major, so that when I was actually being a battalion chief clerk, I could actually arrange the date that I wanted to be discharged. So I arranged September 13th, because I got in on September 13th, and I wanted the record to show that I was in over a year.
Okay.
1 day. Oh.
That's good thinking.
Yeah, so always thinking.
So what was your finishing rank in the service?
Sergeant.
A sergeant, okay.
Yeah, all the ranks in the Marine Corps came hard. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I became corporal because I was the only one at the time that knew Morse code, that knew flags, and there was another means of communication, and telephone and all that stuff that fit in. So, yeah, because I was the only one that knew all of them. They gave me the rank of corporal. Well, I never held that against them, because I'll tell you, the Marine Corps gave me the most wonderful education. I mean, I had a college education in the Marine Corps.
Sure.
They sent me to Hugh Manley School in Chicago when I got back from overseas. They sent me to school, and instead of another assignment somewhere, and I went to Hugh Manley School in Chicago just to study math. For 1 full month, from 8 to 5, all we studied was math.
Wow.
Algebra, geometry, trigonometry, Kirchhoff's laws, and all that stuff.
I don't think Alana would like that.
Would you? You know what I'm talking about?
She doesn't like math.
Yeah, I just, no, don't like math.
Don't you?
No.
Well, I didn't either, but I had to study to stay in that program. Even though I lived in Milwaukee and the school was in Chicago, I never was able to come home.
Really?
Because I had so much homework to do.
Oh, okay.
And studying to do to stay in that program. So then from there, when I had decent grades, after a month, they sent me to Grove City College in Pennsylvania. So I was there for 3 months. And that was studying electricity, and starting to snow. Do you feel that you have to go home pretty soon?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. So I studied electricity and radio and television. But then after I graduated from that, they sent me to Washington, D.C. to the Naval Research Laboratories, and that's where I studied radar and sonar and IFF and all that stuff that they used in the service at the time. So, briefly, you're getting
Getting a good
is that
overview.
what you wanted?
Absolutely. I like hearing the stories. I like hearing your stories.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, I got a ton of them.
Keep them coming.
Well, oh, I could tell you some stories that I had on Liberty, and I was drunk in my life 3 times.
Really? Okay.
And the first time was in the Marine Corps after I got out of boot camp, and we went on Liberty, and the guy that I went on Liberty with said he was, well, he knew all about liquor. He was a connoisseur on liquor. So I went along with him, you know, okay, I'll believe you. So this was on a Saturday, and the first thing we do when we were on Liberty was to check into a hotel. So we'd have a place to come to at night. And at night, those rooms would all be taken.
Sure.
You know, so we always went, before we went on, first
Good
thing is go
thinking.
to the hotel, pick out what you want, nice, reasonable, clean place. Not
Where
that-
were you at the time? What city?
Well, in San Diego, California,
Okay.
and we were on Liberty in Los Angeles. So we came across. We went after we checked into for a hotel room. We started looking for a place to get a drink, you know, on Liberty. So we went, and it was a hot day. Oh man, it was hot. So we, just a buddy and myself, we walked into this place. Oh, this was such a relief. It was air conditioned. So we sat at the bar, and he says, "I'm gonna buy you a zombie." What is a zombie? You know, what the hell? I'm just a Pollock from the South Side. I never had a beer, but I didn't have a zombie. He said, well, it's a blend of 5 different rums, but you'll like it. You will absolutely like it. Well, okay. He was paying for it. So by gosh, we had that. We finished it. Oh, and it felt so good. Oh. And then I said to him, you know, that one was so good, I'll buy you one now. So I called the bartender, and he said, you want another one? I said, yeah, he bought one, now I'm going to buy one. He said, against my better judgment, I'm going to do that. So he gave us another zombie. Well, that second one did it, because it went down, oh, again, so nice. But then after we finished it, we were going to move out of there. So when we opened the door and got out to that hot air on the outside, I just kind of blanked out. I didn't know what I was doing. And when I get drunk, I'm funny. I don't get violent or nothing, but I am doing stupid things. And my buddy, he couldn't even walk with me. He had to walk at 2 or 3 because he didn't know me, you know. I was so drunk.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, the next thing I know is I'm downtown Los Angeles, and I'm crossing the street, and there's a traffic cop in the middle directing traffic. And he comes up to me and he says, you can't do that here. He said, do what? He said, you can't carry that girl on your back. I was giving her a piggyback ride, and how I talked her into that, I'll never know. I had her piggyback and carrying her shoes, and getting over to the streetcar
Mm-hmm.
because she had to get on that streetcar.
Mm-hmm.
So I told the cop, well, I'm just taking her to the corner and she wants to get the streetcar. So that was over with. So then my buddy comes up to me and he says, I think I better take you up to the room. When you sleep this off, I'll come and get you. I'll get you about 7 o'clock. Because this all happened in the afternoon on
Sure.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, so he took me to the hotel room and he came back at 7 o'clock. I went to bed. I was out. And when he got back to get me to go out on Liberty again, he said, all you kept doing was complaining that the bed was too short. So I figured it was no way I was going to get you out of that bed and take you back out for Liberty. So he just covered me up and went back to sleep.
So you just stayed there the whole day?
All night.
All night? Yeah.
All night. And then the next morning I had to go to church, and I was just a little groggy when I went to church. Yeah. Well, those are some of the little stories. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a million of them.
You okay? Snuck up on you, huh?
Excuse me.
Sure.
Sorry.
Well, I don't know if that's the kind of stuff you're looking
Yeah, well, absolutely. You know, I did this when I went to visit Aunt Audrey, and I did this with Grandpa, my grandpa Frank.
Oh.
And it's
Well,
just
now,
to get memories.
How did you keep the record? What instrument did you get on tapes or on
I can put it
discs?
on discs. I can put it on DVDs.
You can.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Do you have internet on your computer?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we leave, I'll show you. I have links to them where you can view them from your computer here.
I got enough to do without that.
Fair enough.
What I'm doing now, and they said it's ready. When I was younger, we used to take 8mm movies.
Oh, sure.
8mm. So then I got the knack of transferring the 8mm to VHS. Okay, so I got a mixture of 8mm and VHS, but I figured the best way to save that is to put it on discs.
On
But
digital.
I never did learn how to do that, so I'm having somebody else do it.
Okay.
Now there's an outfit in in Germantown here, and they do that for a price.
Sure.
So I gave this party, and I had an ulterior motive for doing it this way. That I gave the the 8mm movies of my first wedding, which I had, and I also, that was one that I changed to VHS too, so I had both versions. So I asked him which one he'd like to do, and he said he'd rather work with the 8mm.
Yeah, you get better quality from that.
That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him the wedding, and I also gave Kathy's graduation at our house in Menominee Falls, where all the relatives came.
Oh, nice.
You know, so I got pictures of the kids, and I got a picture of their parents, and it's, but there's no audio on it, you know, that I can remember. And so I had about 3 reels to take over to him, and he called me Thursday, I think it was, and said that they were ready. But I sold my car. I have no way of getting there, you know.
Oh.
So I have to wait till one of my daughters comes over, which might be next week,
Okay.
and pick them up. But I want to see what quality that is when I put it on my DVD, you know. So then I can take all that and give them to Kathy
Yeah.
on her birthday,
Oh, nice. When's her birthday?
March.
Oh, plenty of time.
I know.
Plenty of time.
So
Good.
those 3 will be on a disc, DVD.
She'd really
And
like
of
that.
course, in the conversation with her on the telephone, I asked if she had a DVD player.
Mhm.
She has, so I don't have to buy her one.
That's
Because my intention was to give the future tapes to all the kids. Every one of them would get a tape.
nice.
And
Yeah, it's nice to have those memories.
now I got 5 cans of 8mm for all the vacations we went on. So that's 5 years of the kids growing up.
Yep.
And
That's precious.
where they went, where we went, the times we had, and oh God, I can't wait to get that.
Yeah.
See, but what I want to do is first look at the quality and the price and everything, what this guy's
Make sure.
charging, and maybe I can find somebody that can do it better or cheaper. Or
Yep.
something.
Yep. Good to shop around. That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got 5 of those reels, and I don't know. He charges 15 cents a foot to do that.
Yeah, I don't know what's a good rate, what's a bad rate. I don't know.
Oh. Do you ever do that?
I've done a little bit. I've done
How do you do that?
well, you do it with the computers. Basically, that 8mm and your VHS are analog, and what you have to do is you have to convert it to digital. So you have to take that analog signal in, it converts it, and digitizes it to be into the format that can be on a computer and on a DVD.
Then you have to cut it for the disc, right?
No. What you do is you have you play in real time the 8mm. You have it plugged into some type of device. That device plays it into your computer, which takes that video and audio signal and converts it to digital signal and records it on the computer, basically zeros and ones in digital format. And then
But
that
then
way,
how do you cut that into a disc?
well then you have it in digital format, then you can burn it onto a DVD or a disc.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Oh, but first let's go on a computer.
Well, or some type of device that's like a computer, yes.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not going to get into that because I have to buy the device and learn a new system.
It is time consuming and
I don't
you need
have
to
that
have
time. Time for me is getting short.
sure. Mhm.
I'm going to ask you on how old do you think Leonard is? How old I am? You have any idea or want
That's a
to
good
guess?
question. What's your guess? I think we've talked about it before, but yeah. What did we say?
Well, you don't like math, so forget it. I'll tell you. 92,
92.
and I'll be 93 in April.
Okay. You look very, very good for 93.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Well,
Mhm.
I like to take care of myself.
Yeah, it shows. Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
and I'm going to tell you a secret out of that everybody here in the building knows. I've got a girlfriend here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but we play cards, we dance, we watch
Yeah.
TV, and all that stuff. We
Mhm.
have a really nice rapport. I'll tell you.
And what's her name?
Kay.
Okay, nice.
Kay.
Mhm.
Kay Larson.
Okay.
But she's a hell of a lot younger than I am. She said she likes older men. Well,
How old is she?
she just had a birthday, and she's 75.
Mm.
That's about 18 years, 17 or 18 years.
Just a young pup.
She is. Oh. And we have so much fun. Just playing cards, we can split a gut just laughing. Playing cards.
That's neat. Well, good for you. That's good for you. Mhm.
Well, anyhow, how is Pam doing?
Doing well.
And how is she
Mhm.
able to take care of those 4 kids on homeschooling?
It can be a chore on many days, I tell you that.
Is that
No,
right?
no,